I have a little tip for you here. You ever bother to think how much bacteria is in a toilet brush or the container where it sits? It's really disgusting, frankly. But take a look here. See, there's water down there. What do you suppose is in there? Nothing good is my guess, right? So we've done some modifications here that y'all just might want to do. We just added this to our bathroom. This eliminates the need for a toilet brush. It's pretty simple. You're done. As we get ready to modify our second toilet in the house for a sprayer, I'm going to show you how this works, and I'm going to show you what you need to get this done inside of about 10 minutes. So this is the product. I got to say, I like this a lot. It comes with great instructions, all the parts you need. You will want a wrench. You will want a knife, and I'll show you why. If you're going to fasten the hanger to the wall, you're going to want some longer screws if it's sheetrock. And you're going to need one of these. Handy little tub you probably have around the house somewhere. Invaluable when you're working on plumbing. And I'm going to show you why. So let's start by opening the box. A knife is one of your best tools for so many things. In here we have instructions. We have the long stainless steel hose. Teflon tape. Nice of them to include that because you need that with plumbing. Inside, this hanger, which goes on the tank, or you can unscrew it from here and fasten it, this part, directly to the wall, which I like a lot better. There's that. Here's the spray head itself. Stainless steel, not plastic. This is your valve interface. Don't really need this, but this is how you get your instructions in case you're having issues. Little QR code here. Let's get rid of that. There you go. This part goes into the tank. This part takes the flexible hose that comes from your wall into the tank, and this is what connects that hose to the spray head. This right there. And then we have some parts. Screws and wall anchors if you want to fasten this to the wall, and I'll show you why those are not my favorite choice. And some washers, one of which is really important because it's not at one end of this like you might think. So I'm going to show you how this works in just a minute. All right, we can get rid of this now. We don't need that. A pair of scissors is a handy thing to have. Rather than try and unzip this bag, just cut it open. Take this flexible hose out, and with your trusty knife, get rid of this annoying label. Because you don't want this sticking out underneath your toilet to just be annoying. And now you have both ends. Now, may not be obvious, but the tapered end is the one that connects to this actual sprayer. And the reason you need the knife is to get these blue plugs out of here. Like that. Notice there is a washer in this one. This is the end that connects to the valve. And it has a washer in it. The other one that I installed did not have a washer in there. So your mileage may vary. Always check because it's not going to work very well without the washer. It's going to leak. You can go ahead and attach this here for now, and you're going to loosen it and adjust it when you get it in place so that it points in the right direction, because there's a certain amount of tension on this and it just won't spin easily. So just keep that in mind. There. Get the parts out of the way. you're going to want to apply Teflon tape to this and this, both of these threaded connections, before you do anything else. You only need 2 or 3 turns of this in order to seal it, but if you don't do that, it will probably leak. And you go in the direction that you're going to thread it. So that means hold down one end of it, get it to spread out so it's flat, or relatively so, like this, and wrap it around here 2 or 3 times. You don't need more than that. And then just break it off. You want this on both of them. One more. If you do this now, then you don't have to fool around with it underneath the toilet. That's what they're supposed to look like. If it overhangs the end, just push it back out of the way. It's not going to make a great deal of difference. And there you go. And this washer just tried to come out of there, so make sure you put it back. Wait, let me show you something. If you're going to fasten this to the wall, might as well do this out here. Take these screws out. And then the bracket's not in the way. This fastens to the wall like so. Now if you use these, the screws they provide, I'm going to show you what happens. They only stick out about that far. And I don't know about y'all, but our sheetrock is thicker than this. So that's not going to work in most locations. If you have a wooden wall or a wooden cabinet, these will be fine. If not, you want 2.5 inch number 8 construction screws. These are fantastic. I use them for everything, and I have lots of different sizes. And they fit perfectly in there and stick out enough to go through your sheetrock and into a stud. Important little piece of information. Now, we'll be back when you move. So I'll be going on and off just to be irritating. So if you're smart, I like to think I am sometimes, you throw everything in the tub and bring it into the bathroom where you want it, and makes life simple. Another really handy thing, and a lot of us have these, you might recognize this, it's a yoga mat, and a lot of them go completely unused, but they're great when you're working on the floor and you need something to kneel on. It's just the right amount of padding. And then this handy little device is a stud finder, and of all the ones I've ever used, this is my favorite. So my recommendation, get this. It uses a magnet. It's foolproof. When it finds the head of a nail or the head of a screw, it holds itself to it. You know where they are, because you're not going to find a screw in the middle of sheetrock. It's going to go into wood. There you go. How about some light? There. Let me show you a couple of things before we start. So first of all, this right here is an angle stop. You turn it 1/4 of a turn clockwise and it turns off the water. That's the first thing you want to do. Then you want to unthread this fitting right here. And before you do that, you're going to stick the tub underneath it. So let me just show you how that works. Not much water is going to leak out of this. It will be inconsequential. You don't have to drain the tank or anything. Just unthread this. I don't know if you can see it because I'm working blind here. But get this unthreaded. Yeah, it's finger tight. You don't need a wrench for this to tighten it. And there you go. Little water leaks out of it. Flexible stainless. Just leave it there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to fasten this where that was. So you have to figure out, when you get started with this, what side of the toilet you want this sprayer to be on, because this set of thin threads on this end, this fitting, has to go in that direction. And in my case, I want it going the other way, because we're putting the sprayer on the right-hand side of the toilet, because on the left-hand side, there isn't a convenient stud. And this is the valve that turns the water on and off. right there. I think you can see that. And then this now threads right on there. See how easy that is? This is pretty simple, and it doesn't have to be hysterically tight. It just needs to be really good and snug. So again, a wrench is not necessary for this. Just torque it down good, and then get this one up here tighten. That's pretty solid. Okay, see that? That's what it looks like from over here. Okay, don't know how well you can see it. So let me move this out of the way. Very little water came out of that. I'm going to try and find an angle for this where you all can see what I'm doing. And I hope that's good, because now we're going to fasten the sprayer hose onto it. You want to make sure that that washer stays in place, because otherwise it's going to leak. I know, because I've done this before. Hang on. I'm just going to turn this around before I can get to it. Okay, see that? Okay. There. Okay. Of course, I can't see it very well. It's going to access, so it's a little tricky here. There we go. Got it. It doesn't have to be tight enough to handle re-entry G-forces or anything. Then you got to snug this back up again. Okay, that's done. This is done. Here we go. You can feel the pressure. Watch this. Check that out. How's that for some water pressure, huh? It's adjustable too. Doesn't have to be all the way on. But I like it that way. Works really well. So we're going to fasten it right here. Hang it on the wall. Down about there, because I don't want that hose coming all the way up like this. I want it down here. So I'm going to put it down about there. Ready? Set this down. Now what we need, this hanger, and you'll notice that there's no top and bottom to this hanger. But basically we just want to get it in the middle of a stud at about the height we want it, which we're going to say is right about here. And we have a stud. Okay, so just fasten this down. Now, when it starts to get close to tight, you want to get it straight up and down so it doesn't set at a weird angle. And in order to keep that from happening, and this looks pretty close to being straight up and down, we're going to put the other screw in to lock it in place before we anchor it all the way down. Always a good idea. When more than one screw is involved, put them in both a little loose before you torque them down. There we go. Snugged up, nice and tight. With me? Check it out. Just like as if we knew what we were doing, boys and girls. We're all set. We have no leaks on the other side. There's no water dripping down here. And even if it was, it would be minute. And this is the final look and feel. There's our sprayer, easy to get to. There's what it looks like when it's done. We are finished, kids.